Look, let me tell you something. There is a moment, and if you've been through it, you know exactly what I'm talking about. There's a moment where something inside you goes, wait, hold on. This isn't love. This isn't mutual. This is me giving my whole heart and getting something weird back. And it doesn't happen with a big dramatic explosion. It's usually quiet. It's usually subtle. It's usually a feeling, like a tiny crack in the illusion. Because emotional use doesn't always look like cruelty. Sometimes it looks like charm. Sometimes it looks like neediness. Sometimes it looks like someone who says all the right words, but somehow you always feel empty afterward. That's the moment. When the words don't match the weight. When you realize you're doing all the emotional lifting. Let me explain it in real human terms. The moment you realize you're being emotionally used is when you notice you are always the one adjusting. You're always the one understanding. You're always the one waiting. You're always the one explaining. And they're always the one receiving. And at first you tell yourself, no, they're just busy. They're just stressed. They have trauma. They're not good at emotions. And look, people can be all those things. But here's the difference. A good person still cares how they affect you. A user doesn't. A user just keeps taking. The moment you realize you're being emotionally used is when you start feeling like you're auditioning for basic decency. Like you have to earn warmth, earn attention, earn a reply. That's not a relationship. That's a performance. And you're exhausted. Because you're always on, always careful, always trying to say it in the right way, always trying not to upset them. And you know what's crazy? You start shrinking. You start becoming less of yourself just to keep the connection. That's the moment when you realize, I'm not even free in this. Let me give you another one. The moment you realize you're being emotionally used is when you bring up something real, something honest, something vulnerable. And they somehow make it about being too much. You say, I miss you, and they get annoyed. You say, that hurt me, and they roll their eyes. You say, can we talk? And suddenly you're needy. And you sit there thinking, wait, what? Since when is wanting closeness a crime? That's when you realize, oh, they don't want intimacy. They want access. They want you available, not close. They want the benefits of your love without the responsibility of loving you back. That's emotional use, and it messes with your head. Because it's not always obvious. Sometimes they sprinkle in just enough sweetness, just enough crumbs, just enough I care about you to keep you hooked. And you start living off crumbs. And you start calling crumbs a meal. And that's when you know something's wrong. Let me pause for a second. If you've ever felt this, or you know someone who's living in this right now, like, follow, subscribe, share, because people need language for what they're experiencing. Okay, another moment. The moment you realize you're being emotionally used is when you notice they only show up when it benefits them, when they're lonely, when they need validation, when they want comfort, when they want attention. But when you need something, they disappear, or they get irritated, or they act like you're asking for too much. That imbalance is the whole story. Because real love isn't just, I'm here when I feel like it. Real love is, I care about you even when it's inconvenient. Users don't do inconvenient, they do convenient. Another sign, you feel anxious more than you feel safe. That's huge because people always ask, how do I know? Honestly, your body knows. Your nervous system knows. If you feel calm with someone, that's a good sign. If you feel constantly on edge, constantly wondering, constantly checking, constantly waiting, that's not love. That's emotional survival. And kind people, good people, they stay in it way too long because they think love means endurance. No, love means mutuality. Love means ease. Love means you can breathe. Here's another brutal one. The moment you realize you're being emotionally used is when you look at what you've given and what you've received. And you can't even pretend it's equal. You gave time, care, energy, thoughtfulness, support. You remembered everything about them. You showed up. And what did you get? Vagueness, distance, mixed signals, an LOL, a K, a random compliment once in a while, just enough to keep you from leaving. That's not love, that's supply. And the hardest part is, when you finally see it, you feel embarrassed. You think, how did I not see this sooner? Let me tell you something. You didn't see it sooner because you have a heart, because you assumed they had one too. That's not stupidity, that's humanity. But the moment you see it, you can't unsee it. But that's where the power comes back. Because the moment you realize you're being emotionally used is the moment you stop negotiating your worth. You stop begging for clarity. You stop explaining. You stop chasing. You stop proving. And you start asking one simple question. Do I feel safe here? Do I feel valued here? Do I feel met here? And if the answer is no, you don't need a courtroom. You don't need a diagnosis. You don't need them to admit it. You can just leave. You can just step back. You can just choose yourself. And listen, that doesn't make you cold. That makes you awake. That makes you healthy. That makes you someone who won't be drained anymore. And if you want help with this, because it's not easy, it messes with your heart, messes with your mind, you can book a session through the link in my bio, or contact me on Pop Call, chat, voice, or video. We'll work through it together. No fluff, just truth. All right, that's it. Talk soon.